everybody. We're going to do a little practice with one of my practice clocks from school. Now, kindergartners don't have to learn how to tell time, but it's something that we like to practice a little bit just to help you because it's something that you can use in your real life and it'll help you next year and the next year. So let's talk a little bit about this clock. This clock is what we call an analog clock. It's one that has hands, and this particular practice one has two hands. This longer hand, the red one, is called the minute hand, and this shorter hand, the blue one, is called the hour hand. And if you're in my class, you know that I teach you when we first start learning how to tell time to just start. Every time you look at a clock, start by looking only at the hour hand. And so if I cover up the minute hand for a second with my hand, like this, with my real human hand, then I just want to look at that hour hand for a second. Where is that hour hand pointing? Yeah, it's pointing at the 5. So when I first look at the hour hand, that tells me what hour I am in. And this tells me that I am in the hour of 5 o'clock. 5. So then I look at the minute hand to see where it's pointing, and that tells me whether I'm right at 5 o'clock or if I'm at some minutes after 5. So in this case, my minute hand is pointing right smack at that 12, right at that very top dash there. So I know that I call this 5 o'clock. It is the hour of 5 o'clock. Exactly. And then as time goes by, this minute hand, if this was a working clock, this is a practice one, but if this was a working clock, as time goes by, this minute hand would gradually move around the circle, pointing around the circle. And each one of those little dashes on this practice clock is 1 minute. So as time goes by, this little hand is going to start moving. It would start moving 1 minute by 1 minute by 1 minute. And it would go all the way around the whole circle. And when it had gone all the way around the whole circle, which would be 60 minutes, it would be a new hour. So watch this. If I sped up time by moving this hand faster, watch what happens. I'm going to make the time go by. That's 5 minutes after 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes after 5, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and back up to the 12. Now, let's use my little trick. Look at just the hour hand first. What hour is it now? You're right, it's 6. Now let's look at the minute hand. Oh, it's pointing smack dab at the 12. So I know we would call this 6 o'clock. So that minute hand went all the way around the circle and back up to the spot pointing at the 12. So it's a new o'clock. And I can look at my hour hand and know that it is 6 o'clock. Now I'm going to speed up time again and make this go faster than real life. I'm going to go all the way around. Whoa, every time I hit there it moves. All the way around, 60 more minutes. And what time is it now? What hour? Yep, 7 o'clock. Good. All right, I'm going to spin it a few times this time. Okay, I'm going to cover up the minute hand. What hour is it now? Yep, 10 o'clock. Excellent. Okay, so if you train yourself to look at that hour hand first, then you won't get confused when it's some minutes after an hour. Watch what I mean. So I'm going to make some time go by. I'm going to make 30 minutes go by. Now I'm going to cover that up for a second, and I want you to look at that hour hand. Well, now you might be saying, Mrs. Bennett, that's a little bit confusing because that hour hand isn't really pointing at any number. It's kind of in between two numbers, right? It's in between 10 and 11. Yep. So the trick is when you see the hour hand between 2 hours, you know it is always the earlier hour because it hasn't gotten all the way to the new hour yet. So when I see this one pointing between the 10 and 11, I can automatically say it's the hour of 10. Now, I need to find out how many minutes after 10 it is. Now I'm going to move my hand and look at the minute hand. Okay, so the minute hand is pointing straight down at the 6. And that means it is 30 minutes past the hour. So you told me the hour was 10, so I know I would say this time as 10:30. That's right, 10:30. 30 minutes. So the minute hand started at 10 o'clock right up here, and it went halfway around the circle, 30 minutes. And that's because 30 is half of 60. So it went halfway around, half of an hour, and it got down to the 6, and that means it is 10:30. Now I'm going to give you another one to read, okay? Let me spin this around a little. Okay, I'm going to cover up my minute hand. Now look at that hour. It's in between two numbers, so I know it's the earlier one. So what hour is it, everybody? Yep, it's the hour of 1. So let's see, 1 what? Pointing straight at the 6. So I know I'm going to call this 1:30. All right, now let's just do a couple of practice ones, okay? I'm going to give you some different ones, and I'm going to ask you, what hour is it? The hour of 2? Yep, if it's pointing straight up at the top, it's 2 o'clock. We say 2 o'clock. That's short for 2 of the clock, I think, from long ago, and we just call it 2 o'clock. I'm going to do another one. What hour is it? Yep, it's the hour of 2, so I know it's going to be 2 something. Let's see what it is. 2:30. Good. All right, let me spin and spin and spin. All right, I'm covering the minute hand. What hour is it? It's the hour of 7. 7 o'clock. Good. What hour is it? Oh, I see it's in between the 8 and the 9. Is it 8 something or 9 something? Oh, it's 8 something. Okay, 8:30. Right, it's 8:30 because it's pointing straight down at the 6. Good. Now, I'm just going to give you a few times and you call out the answer. I'm not going to cover up the hands anymore. Ready? What time is it? Good. 7 o'clock. What time is it? Remember, look at that hour hand first. 9:30. Good. What time is it? 9 o'clock. Excellent. What time is it? 11 o'clock. Good. And what about 30 minutes after that? Remember, look at that hour hand first when I'm done. It's in between the 11 and the 12. Sure, it's 11:30. Excellent. It's fun with these little pretend plastic clocks, practice clocks, because I can make time go by really fast, right? Way faster than real life. What time is it? 1 o'clock. Good. And what about 30 minutes later? 1:30. If you always look at that hour hand first, you won't get fooled. That's right. Good work. Okay. We'll keep practicing with these clocks. Good work.